Katia POV. Let me introduce myself. I am Katia Lane and I am 19 years old. Today is the day I die. Don't be sad for me. It's okay, my Wolfaza and I agree that our next life has to be better than this one. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, werewolves are real and I am one of them. We prefer to be called shifters as we shift from human to wolf at will. We live in communities called packs and intermingle with other supernatural and humans. Although most humans have no clue that the supernatural world exists. Back to why Azza and I have decided today is the day we die. It's simple, really. We can no longer stand the torture, abuse, pain, and hurt we have dealt with since my birth. I have no clue why my parents, the beta couple, to the Nightshade pack, hated me. I was their firstborn and they showed absolutely no feelings for me at all. I was basically ignored except for changing and feeding me, which kept me quiet. Once I was old enough to understand commands, I was put to cooking, cleaning, and taking care of my younger brothers. Yes, my brothers were loved and treasured. After all, they would become the beta and gamma of the pack someday. Just as my father and his brother had done. My brothers learned to smack me, throw me, choke me, and whatever else they could think of. Their favorite thing to do was to do something they weren't allowed and then blame me, knowing I would be punished. One time, when I was about 8, my brother stole money from my mom's wallet. When my mom discovered money missing from her wallet, I was blamed. I was given 50 lashes and no food for a week. I was blamed and punished for anything that went wrong or happened with the pack. My parents punched, kicked, whipped, and starved. Not to mention any other ways to torture me my parents or pack members could think of. Why didn't I say something to the Alpha or Luna? They were busy running the pack and they had seen me hit and thrown across the dining room when I tripped and dumped a tray of food on the floor. It didn't matter that I was only 5. I figured since they didn't say anything they really did not care. I tried to run away when I was 8. I had been beaten and locked in a closet as punishment for my latest transgression. I didn't even know what it was that I was being punished for. I made it to the woods surrounding our pack lands. I ran and ran into them until it was so dark that not one ray of sunlight peeked through the trees. I was terrified and had no idea what to do. I was cold, scared of the noises and what might be making those noises. I found a tree with a hole in the bottom of its trunk and crawled inside. As I sat inside shivering and hoping nothing was going to find and eat me, I smelled my father and uncle. Already tiny for my age, I still tried to make myself smaller. Shifter senses are stronger than a human's even when we have not met our wolves yet. So for the 2 adult males who had their wolves for years, it was easy to find me. I was grabbed by my legs and pulled from the tree. The beating I was given by my father and uncle, for inconveniencing them, almost killed me. When they saw how badly they had beaten me, they took me to the pack hospital and said I had been attacked by a rogue. A rogue is a wolf that has left or been thrown out of its pack. Wolves are pack animals and have a hard time living on their own. Some rogues cannot stand the loneliness and it does something to their minds. The doctor accepted their explanation and spent hours resetting bones and putting casts on me, stitching me up and monitoring my vitals. Once I was out of danger of dying, he sent me home with the promise of trying not to draw attention to myself. He did not really buy the rogue excuse. He knew what really happened and knew he could not go up against the beta of the pack. I managed to do just that for about 2 years. I learned to never speak so no one would hear me and remember I existed. I found ways to not be in the same room with the worst of my antagonizers. I was essentially a ghost. I did what I was assigned to do every day. I learned to anticipate when someone wanted something, and it was there before they remembered my name and yelled for me. I waited until everyone went to sleep every night before I would quietly slip into my room and go to sleep. Then my 10th birthday happened. Katia POV. On my 10th birthday, my mom woke me saying, "Hurry, get dressed. We have a birthday surprise for you." She said there was a special birthday dress in my closet for me to wear. I jumped from my bed, ran to my closet, and there hung the most beautiful dress I have ever seen. It was the prettiest thing I have ever owned. Most of my clothes were no better than rags. I had a few things I was only allowed to wear when attending a function at the pack house, just as my room was for show. Sure, I slept there, but that was it. The dress was so pretty. It was made of white silk with little pink and red ribbons interwoven up the back of the bodice. I stood staring at it, wondering why suddenly my mom bought me this dress and why she was so happy. I never make her happy. She never bought me something this expensive. Was it some kind of trick? Once I put the dress on, would she rip it off me, telling me I was too ugly to wear it? I grabbed the dress and went into the bathroom. Since Mom wanted to wear the dress, I guess she would allow me to bathe today. I turned on the shower and adjusted it so it was barely warm if someone came to check and make sure I wasn't using hot water. If I heard them coming, I could knock the knob slightly, and the water would be freezing. If I didn't hear them, it would seem like I had not moved the knob quite far enough to keep the hot water completely off. Although I couldn't help hoping that somehow my parents had realized I was their child too. And that I wasn't that ugly or stupid. Maybe 10 was a magic number for the girls in our family. Maybe they can't be loved until they turn 10. I have heard strange stories about other families and what they call traditions. Maybe this is a family tradition for girls. My brain had grasped onto this idea, and it was all I could think. My mom, dad, brothers, and the rest of the pack were going to love me now. I bet that is the rest of the birthday surprise. The dress is for some kind of ceremony to let me know they love me now. No one interrupted my shower, and I lost track of time, so I was in there longer than allowed. I hurriedly dried myself off and tied the towel around my thin chest. I sped through brushing my teeth and detangling my freshly washed hair. I dropped the towel but grabbed it off the floor and hung it up. I don't want to do anything to mess this up. I slipped into my little panties and stepped into the dress. It felt like what I imagine a cloud must feel like against my body. Just then my mom came in to help me zip it up. "Good, you showered and washed your hair," she said. "Today is an important day, and we need to make you look as pretty as we can," she said, smiling. She was smiling. "I know you are only 10, but goddess, you are tiny. I can't believe I gave birth to a runt, especially with the alpha blood running through my veins." My mom then brushed and braided my hair, winding it around my head. She secured it with some pins and added little pink and red roses in each center of each link of the braid. Mom's eyes glazed over, which meant she was linking with someone. Most likely my dad. Mind linking is another thing you can do with the pack once you get your wolf. Though I have heard talk around the pack house that couples get a special link once they are mated. Her eyes cleared and she looked at me as she stated, "Well, this will have to do," and then muttering under her breath, "I told your father we should have fed you more." She looked at me with her smile back in place. "Come on, Katia. Your surprise is here." We walked down the stairs, and there was a man standing in our living room, watching me come down them. He was tall and his legs, arms, and chest were covered in muscles. He had long brown hair that was hanging down to his shoulders. His goatee and mustache were the same color as his hair. He was staring at me with the prettiest golden eyes. They reminded me of the gold necklace Luna always wore. Although he was pretty to look at, the way he stared at me made my skin crawl. He continued staring while stating, "She'll do." I looked at my father, who stood next to the man smiling. This was another first. I had never seen him smile. Suddenly my mother stepped off the last step and said, "Katia, meet Alpha Thomas Crane of the Blood Meadow Pack. He has decided to take you as his chosen mate." Thomas POV. It's unnerving how the girl Katia just stands there staring at nothing. Since her mother announced her being my chosen mate, she has just stood there. Absolutely no reaction, not even a flash of emotion on her face. Her mother pulls her off the last step, and she continues to show no reaction. The mother leans down, saying something in her ear, and I take the time to study her. Little Katia is going to be one hell of a beauty when she is older. With that dark black hair, porcelain skin, natural pink bow lips, and those big dark black/purple eyes, she's a cute little thing now. She is going to be mine. Mine to train the way I want. I can't wait to start her training, and although I will have to wait until her womanhood comes on to mate with her, there are other trainings I can begin right away. I feel my cock stir in my jeans and have to resist the urge to adjust myself. "Katia," I said. "Come here." She continued to stand staring until her mother gave her a shove. Katia moves forward, stopping right in front of me and staring but not seeing. "Katia, look at me." She moves her eyes to stare me in the eyes, but she somehow has mastered looking without actually seeing. It is infuriating, and I believe she knows it. I believe she does because it is something she can still control in her young life. Not for much longer. I'll break her from that and anything else she uses to keep control over life. "Katia, today is your birthday, so after you gather your things, how about we stop for a birthday dinner with cake and ice cream on our way home?" I asked. Nothing. She hasn't even blinked. looking at her parents inquiring. Her father stated she hadn't spoken in 2 years. 2 years ago, she tried to run away and was almost beaten to death for it. They didn't know if there was some kind of damage to her brain or if she was doing it on purpose. No damage can be found in her throat. Another way for little Katia to hold on to some control. We will see how long she lasts once I get her home to my pack. I turn to tell her to go gather what she wants to take with her. As she goes up the steps, I call her name Katia. She turns and stares in my direction. You have 15 minutes to collect your things. She just stands there until I tell her to go. She spins and runs up the stairs. Mrs. Lane asks, "Can I get you something to drink while you wait for Katia?" I shake my head indicating I was fine and needed nothing as I say, "We need to get going as soon as she comes back." Fine, we completely understand your hurry. We can expect the agreed upon price to be in our account within 24 hours. Beta Delvin asks. I took out my phone, pulled up the app and hit a couple of buttons. Done. Once we leave, I don't ever want to see you two again. The girl is mine to do as I please with. She will never return here because if she does not learn what I expect and obey, she will die by my hands as my first Luna did. I informed both. Like we care. She's your problem now. The little runt is a waste of space, her father says. Her mother shows no emotion one way or another. A few minutes later, I heard her little feet on the stairs. Although she had been standing at the top of the stairs listening to most of the conversation her parents and I had, my wolf could hear the shallow breaths she took. It was almost like she was a ghost, but you could see her. I am going to enjoy breaking this girl, because regardless of what she shows those around her, it takes spirit and strength to be that little ghost. She hits the bottom of the stairs, holding what looks like rags and a black stuffy wolf. "Ready, little ghost?" I ask, and of course there is no answer or movement. "Say goodbye to your parents, Katia," I instructed her. She turns and walks out the door. I said a few parting words to her parents and followed. When I arrive outside, little ghost is standing next to my beta, not moving or responding to him. "Alpha," he says. "Our little Luna showed up without you, and I wasn't sure what to do. I was about to mind link you when you stepped out of the house. Mark, put your Luna in the back seat, and let's go get something to eat." I told my beta. I relax in the passenger seat, thinking about my new Luna. I am certain there is something about her that is otherworldly, but I don't understand what. It doesn't matter, she is going to be what and who I want her to be. If not well, then she will truly be a ghost. Katia is about to discover the beast I truly am. Mark POV. I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. A tiny girl stood in front of me, just staring. Not at me but through me. Thomas must be kidding. He cannot be thinking of taking this little girl as his chosen mate. She's a child. It is creepy the way she stands there staring, and not saying anything. Her long dark hair twisted on her head in braids with big purple eyes just staring. She is a beat-up stuffed wolf, and what looks like a pile of rags. "Hi, I am Beta Mark," I said, introducing myself. "And over there is your Gamma. His name is Kelp." The reason I refer to Kelp as her Gamma is because the Gammas have a special connection with the Lunas of a pack. They feel what they feel, and know when they are in need. I have only seen the connection once when Thomas's parents were Alpha and Luna. It is an amazing thing to watch. It is very different from the mating bond. The Gamma's sole purpose is to take care of the Luna, when her mate is not able to. However, the little one just stands there acknowledging nothing I say. Just as I am about to link the Alpha, he is walking toward us and the vehicles. I told him I was just about to link him, and he ordered me to put the Luna in the car to get something to eat and head home. As I turn the SUV out onto the road, I glance in the rear view mirror and notice Kelp is looking rather green. I glance at Alpha, and he is playing with his phone. Linking the Gamma, I ask, "Hey, what's up? You're not looking too good." He looks at the little girl sitting next to him holding on to her wolf. Then I hear, "Mark, we have a problem." Again, I glance toward the Alpha. "What?" "The Luna, she's moon-touched." I put everything I have into controlling my wolf and keeping myself from slamming down the brakes. I don't want Thomas to pick up on how special the Luna is. If he finds out, he will be more obsessed than he already is. "Oh my goddess, what are we going to do?" "Kelp, how touched?" I asked. "I don't know, but she's close to the goddess." Won't know how close until she turns 17, is his answer. Anyone who is moon-touched means they are related to our moon goddess Selene. They can be male or female, but no one knows their relationship to the goddess until they turn 17, and the mark appears on their forehead. The goddess then visits her relatives, helping them to understand their power. Fuck, Kelp, how do you know? I ask with a calm I don't feel. Man, mark the moment the words "he's your gamma" left your mouth. My mind was flooded with pictures of her life up till now. Believe me, it's not pretty. She's communicating with me by showing me. Look at her eyes. They're purple and black. Only those who are moon-touched have eyes that color. He explains. Ugh, Selene, why would you do this to us? We couldn't protect our first Luna from the Alpha, and she was his fated mate. How do you expect us to keep this one safe? I think to myself. Kelp, how do you know all of this? I inquire. His eyes stare back at me in the rear-view mirror as he answers. My grandma is moon-touched. Alright, what to do? I'm thinking. And I notice Alpha Thomas looks like he is finishing up the work he was doing on his phone. Kelp, I say. Can you communicate back with her? He looks at me with a smirk, and lets me know that as soon as I asked him, our little Luna opened a mind link to him. He says, she's been listening in on our mind link since we started the conversation. I didn't say anything, because I wanted her to understand she can trust both of us. Mark, she shouldn't be able to listen in on our mind link, or open her own path to anyone. She's not part of our pack yet, nor does she have her wolf. Well, today is her birthday, so Alpha will indulge her at the moment. He will want to impress her, and lure her into feeling safe, before letting her see who he really is. Looking at Luna Katia to see if she understands what I am trying to convey to her, although I'm speaking to Kelp. She nods her little head in understanding. She's a smart little thing. This worries me because the Alpha can't control his temper, and he has no patience for children. As we roll into Shifter City in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, we see a diner, and I pull in and park. Alpha hops out. Opening the back door, he holds out his hand saying, Come Katia, let's eat, have cake and ice cream. Then go further into the city to get you a present. She continues to not interact, but gets out of the vehicle and walks with us into the diner. The look on Thomas's face as he lowers his hand that is ignored and follows his Luna lets me know she will pay for that indiscretion. Katia POV. It's been 2 years now since I arrived here as the new Luna of the Blood Meadow Pack. Alpha Thomas is determined to mate me or kill me. I have fought him for 2 years with the help of my Beta Gamma. I say my Beta and Gamma because when we first arrived here and I refused to obey my new Alpha, my beatings here began. After the first one and they had to help with putting me back together, they swore their loyalty to me. We have created our own little pack of 3. My life here is not much different than the first 10 years with my parents. I am beat, starved, and work as punishment for any indiscretion the Alpha feels I've committed. Alpha Thomas has a terrible temper, and he cannot control it. One day he will kill me, and I will welcome sweet death. Mark and Kelp keep telling me to hold on, they'll figure some way to get me out before he succeeds in killing me. He will have to kill me because I will never mate with him. I should have known my parents would never love me, and when I realized on my 10th birthday that they had sold me, I finally understood I had no one who cared for me. Oh, no matter how hard I try not to, I still hope I find my fated mate and he will save me, love me, and help me to heal. But for now I have my fishy and ex. What I call them when they are irritating me. When Mark first introduced Kelp to me, I found his name hilarious. He finally told me that during one of the times he was taking care of me after a beating, his mother and father named their children after things she liked and pregnancy cravings. I thought he was kidding until I met his brothers Poach, Dragon, Siberian, and sister Cherry. The pack is really a very good pack of shifters. They fully accept me and try to help so the Alpha won't be so angry with me. What they do not understand is that Alpha Thomas is always angry because I will not submit to him. He is not the one fated to me, and beyond that, he makes my skin crawl. Since we arrived here, he has made watch what he likes to do to women and young girls. It's nothing but rape, what he forces them to do and what he does to them. He doesn't care if he damages them for life. The fight he gets from them, and the fear turns him on. I refuse to show him or give him anything. I refuse to speak to him or look at him as if I see him. It makes him angry to the point that his anger is out of control. He has punched, kicked, stabbed, cut, and whipped me almost to death several times now. I am covered from head to toe in scars because I don't have my wolf to help heal me. However, I am proud that my spirit has not broken. Luna, Alpha is on his way. He is back from his trip. Mark mine links me. I pray to the goddess that he is tired and just goes to bed. I am only 12, but my moon cycle started while he was away this time. He will smell it if he gets near me. No such luck. He is behind me, wrapping his arms around me. So, my little Katia, you are finally a woman. I freeze, barely breathing. I can now mate and mark you. You will be carrying my heir in no time. He spins me around so we face one another. Little ghost, look at me. I continued to stare, looking through him, not at him. Katia, did you hear what I said? Answer me. He pins me to the wall by my throat. You will answer me, or I will take you outside, tie you to the whipping post, and use my new toy on you. I say nothing. Thomas drags me through the pack house and out to the whipping pole. He ties me to it and strips me. I stand there in the middle of the training field, waiting for the whipping to begin. The wolves who were training and almost everyone else gathered around in shock. Oh goddess, what is he thinking? How can he treat her like this and still expect her to mate with him? I hear someone in the crowd ask. Suddenly, I hear the whoosh and crack of the whip, as the most excruciating pain I have felt yet rips through my body. I hear his unsettling laughter behind me. Tell me, my little ghost, how did you like that? My new toy has little tiny knives on the end. I still say nothing as he hits me again and again. Each hit rips chunks of skin and meat from wherever it hits on my body. Once I am a bloody mess and have screamed and screamed in my head, he throws the whip to the side. I am staring at my poor Gamma, who feels everything his Luna feels. Tears are running down his face as he watches his Alpha walk up behind me and whip out his hard cock and press it between my legs. I realize he is going to rape me in front of the whole pack. The pain I am in is unbearable, and him touching me, trying to shove his cock into my pussy, makes me feel strange. As I hold Kelp's gaze to keep from screaming out loud, my wolf comes forward and forces my first change.